Happy Monday, community. Josie and Carissa here, bringing you our real estate unfiltered conversation. We are always talking before we hop on, which is usually why
Yep.
I'm laughing before we hop on. 'Cause-
Yes, and we were just talking about my like really life in the day of parents, of aunties, and overcommitting and being all over the place and that part.
yeah,
So
all sorts of stuff. We really were talking about all sorts of just unfiltered conversations. But the one that we wanted to kind of just won't be too long today, right? We just wanted to kind of get into talking about Google reviews because it's popped up, I feel like several times. If you have a Google business page, and if you don't, then you should create one because it's a really great tool for your business. It helps with exposure. I mean, literally, even for our team, we actually do often get leads for people who just Google, like, Connecticut Realtor, local realtor, right? We have over 200 Google reviews for the Valerie King team right here in Connecticut. And so having a Google business page set up, it's free, it's a great resource. But then what do you do if when, right, you get that negative review, like that 1 star? Maybe it was, a client who you really did give good service to, but something that you did rubbed them the wrong way. And so then they go and slam you, unfortunately, right? Some people are like that. They just want to be spiteful, they want to hurt you, um, and lash out. Like it's probably a better way to say it. And so we wanted to share some tips on how to be able to just navigate, like, take a deep breath, don't let your world shatter, but there are ways that you can kind of just address those.
yeah, I want just keep in mind that a bad review is not going to like crush your reputation. How you respond may though. So just
That part.
keep that in mind.
Exactly. So the first part of it is that you should definitely respond. And so the catch of this though is that you should respond to every review that you get, the good ones and the bad ones, right? And the ones in between, those 3 star reviews. Because we've had some times where people, they might do like a 4 star and we're like, "Oh, why did we like lose a star?" And they're like, "Oh no, I didn't even mean to click that." And then they'll go and fix it, right? And so every single review that you get, you want to reply, because then it also doesn't look like you're only like leaving this paragraph response to the negative ones, right? Like you're engaging. The more that you do that and reply to your testimonials, your reviews that people leave you, the more that Google actually will then continue to push you up for like SEO, right? So keep that in mind as well. But address whatever it is that it says. Like sometimes maybe they even left it on the wrong person's page. I've seen that before. They might have given untrue uh facts. I don't know, I'm saying that wrong, right? But they
Yeah.
might have misrepresented the situation to be like, "Oh, I never heard from them," even though you called them, every week for 3 months, right? So address whatever it is that they're saying in a professional way to be like, "Oh, well, not I'm sorry that you feel that way." That's the one expression like that. That's kind of like the kick in the face, like, well, I didn't
Like you're
actually
almost,
like
yeah, yeah, you're almost just like saying their feelings don't count. Like, I'm sorry you
exactly.
feel that way because
Right.
that means you automatically don't agree with them, right?
Exactly. Like maybe I'm surprised by this feedback. I'd love to have like a phone conversation or whatever the case, depending on what the scenario is. But still address what it is because that is what people will be looking for, to Carissa's point. So if they said like they never contacted me, I'll be like, "Oh, okay, why didn't they contact you?" But if I see that your reply says, I did reach out to you every week, like with no response for 3 months, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, clearly there's a disconnect, something, maybe the person's bitter about whatever the case is." So that's one. So make sure that you're replying, make sure that you are addressing whatever points in there that they have brought up to leave that, negative 1 star, 2 star review. But then, even more importantly, just go out and get, like, rally, right? Like rally the troops, rally your other past clients who love you, your friends, your colleagues, other agent partners, right? And ask them to help overcome that, right? Just can you leave me? I just got slammed with this review. This shouldn't be the only reason that you're asking. And yet it is a tactic to help overcome kind of that negative shock from getting like a negative review, right? So reaching out and just asking them to just leave you, a positive review, 5 star, hopefully if they feel that you earned it, right? You can even do like a giveaway. Like you have to be careful with the laws in your state. So, for us, we can do like a raffle type giveaway if they leave us a review. Like that's something our team does, for example. So just make sure that you're following the rules of your state, but you can make it fun and pull people into that. And it doesn't have to be someone that closed with you. It could be someone who's like a vendor partner, someone, like I said, like an agent partner, someone who can give a character review as well to add to your Google business page.
Yeah. And so when you are replying, step back for a second so that you're not emotional, because typically that's the first thing we want to do is, attack back, right? That's a natural response to protect what you've built or what you've done and justify the actions. So just step back for even a couple of minutes. Like, don't respond immediately. Give yourself time to digest it, because what that message is saying is, it might not be that you might not necessarily have dropped the ball in a way that you think you did or didn't, for that matter, but it gives you an opportunity to step back and reflect on what people are expecting, right? So take some ownership in it, and while it stings, there's probably, I hate to say it, 95% of the time, there's some type of truth behind that review. And the truth being, it could have been just a lack of communication or lack of explaining what the expectations or what you do or what you don't do, for that matter. And if that's the case, and you can take that away from it and improve going forward, it's a win, right? That's what reviews and feedback are for, is we need to be better. And in order to do better, we need to reflect. Sometimes it comes at the cost of the public seeing it as well, unfortunately. But when that happens, just own it, move forward, and know that it's not the end of the world. Take that information and build something great with it. Reach out to them, ask them, say, hey, did not realize I didn't explain this correctly. Own whatever that is, because people typically just want to be heard, right? When they're complaining or upset about something, being one of the brokers, I know I use this a lot, but that's all we hear are complaints and problems. And most of the complaints that are coming on, like if they're complaining about one of my agents or something, typically it's resolved as long as I am hearing them and I'm actually acknowledging their feelings. And when I take that information back to my agent, that's the first thing I say. Listen, get your feelings out of the way. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna fix it, and it's not gonna happen in the future. And it's over, right? And now they're a better agent because of it. So utilize it as tuition and know that you're building something great. And in order to build something great, sometimes you do hit potholes. So it's not the end of the world.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree with that. Right. There's always a lesson to learn. And you're right. Usually it is setting expectations, right? I think I shared this recently. There was an agent, right? And the client was upset with her because of the fact that the agent had gone so far above and beyond for about a year after closing to find like contractor referrals, but she did the work. She would call and get the quotes and all of this stuff. And she finally was tired of being taken advantage of. And so she tried to put her foot down. And then the person was like, well, you said you're going to be my realtor for life. So, I thought this was part of the service. And I was like, well, so you have to take some ownership that you did not set those expectations correctly. And at this point, you have allowed that relationship to go in that direction, right? So apologize, but then course correct. And so that might be the situation, right? And then you just own it and then you reflect on that, like Carissa said. Um, but I do think it's super important to definitely respond to the reviews, to not let it overwhelm you, to go and get others, because then you will also remind yourself like, I'm a good person, I am good at my job, right? When you see the positive reviews start to come in. um and then I would recommend doing the same, like if you have a Facebook business page, because that shows up. I don't know if you guys noticed that. So if you look up like your Google, if you've linked your Facebook to your website or whatever, or your Google business page, it'll show. So if you have like 5 stars on Google, but then you have like 3.2 stars on Facebook, there'll be a little thing right there that shows that. So kind of make sure that you're keeping both of those in mind where it comes to positive and negative reviews and places to just get like testimonials about your work. Um, and then I'm going to put a little plug. If you're in our Ops Insider community, we did an entire Google business page class. I think it was last year. I'm not sure, but it's in the community forum where we walk you through step by step how to set up your Google business page and a lot of these other tips that we just went into way deeper. So if you're part of our community, go into the community forum and look that up. You'll find the replay accessible inside the forum.
Yes. And last but not least, if it's, I know you mentioned it earlier, but if it is not a valid review, it is just random completely, you can report that to Google. So if you can prove that you've never done business with them, it's not, all of that, you can have some of them removed. To get them removed, it's hard, guys. So, um,
Extremely difficult, but
yeah,
not impossible. Just like
yes.
1% possible.
Yeah, it is very hard. And that's why it is important, like Josie said, just flood it with all the positive because in our industry, you aren't going to make everybody happy. That is the truth right there. So there are going to people that are just, a little bit put off. So just keep that in mind and do what you can do when you can do it. That's it.
Absolutely. So I hope that helps. Some quick tips around kind of addressing kind of, those negative reviews that you might get on Google, ways to kind of overcome some of that. If you have questions, feel free to comment. If you're watching this on YouTube, comment. We see those. If you're watching this in the Facebook group, you can comment. We see those as well. And then we're happy to respond and kind of just give some personal one-on-one advice if you need it. Okay.
Yep.
Otherwise, have an amazing week and we'll see you next Monday.
Bye, guys.